I will start with a brief overview of the procedural background of this evaluation. On 8 July of this year, the Commission sent you a request for submission of the 5-year declaration of assets and personal interests. On 15th of July, you submitted your 5-year declaration. The Commission also asked candidates to voluntarily complete and submit an ethics questionnaire, and you did so on the 4th of July of this year. The Commission sent you 3 rounds of questions on 15 August, on 21 September, and on 13 October, respectively. Your responses were submitted on 18 August in relation to the first round of questions, and the responses to the second round of questions were submitted late and were submitted only in combination with the third round of questions on 16 of October. You were asked a total number of 38 questions, including 79 subparts, and 26 of those questions included a request for further information and further documentation. Although you provided answers to most questions and subparts of questions, you did not provide documentation supporting your answers to a number of these questions of the Commission. Please be advised that under Article 3, Paragraph 4 of the evaluation rules of the Commission, a candidate may not provide information, documents, or other materials during the hearing if the Commission requested these earlier and the candidate did not provide them within the time specified, unless, of course, the candidate provides sufficient justification for not providing the information as requested. Members of the Commission will now start asking you questions. I myself will start with asking questions, followed by Mrs. Victoria Hanley, and then again some questions by me. We will try to keep our questions short and to the point, and we ask that your answers be short and to the point as well. I will start with the first questions for you. A brief introduction of the factual situation will be provided, and then we'll ask some further questions. The first question relates to the purchase of an apartment in 2014 in Chisinau at a preferential price. On 8 August of 2014, you purchased an apartment of 66.9 square meters by contract of investment in Chisinau. The apartment was bought at a price of 24,300 euros, which is in lei around 450,000 lei, and was paid for in installments. This was a preferential price, as it formed part of the program for improving the living conditions of judges. However, it appears that you never lived in this apartment, and that on 4 September 2018, you sold this apartment. In your answers to the Commission's first round of questions, you mentioned that this apartment did not help you to improve your living conditions, so you sold it and purchased another house in 2018. According to Regulation number 3 of 6 September 2013, regarding the selection of candidates who are employees in the judicial system and who require the improvement of living conditions, one of the preconditions for enrolling in this program is that a judge from the Chisinau Court does not have housing space or has insufficient housing space within the Chisinau municipality. However, at the time you submitted your request for improvement of living conditions, you had, together with your wife, the right of property of 3 real estate objects, amongst which an apartment of 50.2 square meters, also located in Chisinau. In the Commission's first round of questions to you, you were asked to provide a copy of the request to the Superior Council of Magistracy for eligibility in the program for improvement of living conditions. You informed the Commission that you did not have a copy of this request, but that instead you submitted your application at the time with an extract from the land registry. This extract stated that you did not hold property right of any real estate assets in Chisinau municipality. When the Commission in its second round of questions asked you to provide a copy of this extract from the land registry, you indicated that you did not have a copy of that document. You also answered that the Chisinau apartment of 50.2 square meters is the exclusive property of your wife, as this was donated to her on 1 December 2000, and that you were therefore eligible to apply and to receive the 66.9 square meter apartment because there was no apartment registered in your name at the time. I will begin by asking you some questions to simply establish the facts. Hopefully, these can be answered with a yes or no response. Thereafter, I will ask you one or more questions that will seek greater detail or explanation from you. My first question is then the following. Please confirm that on 8 August 2014, you purchased an apartment of 66.9 square meters in Chisinau.
Yes, I signed the investment contract.
Okay, thank you. Please confirm that you purchased this apartment at the price of 24,300 euros, so around 450,000 lei.
Indeed, sure. This was paid in installments until 2018.
Okay. Please confirm that the purchase of this apartment formed part of a schedule of preferential prices in the context of the improvement of living conditions for judges.
Yes, that was the program, that's how it was called, but I chose at that point an apartment for free, or 3 rooms, because they offered me an apartment of 2 rooms, which did not work exactly for me, but I joined it because there was no other possibility and I had 2 children.
Okay. Please confirm that you and your family never lived in the apartment that was purchased by you at a preferential price and in the context of the improvement of living conditions for judges.
Yes, we did not live in that apartment. In 2018, we sold it when we found something roomier that would suit my family.
And please confirm that your wife was donated an apartment of 50.2 square meters on 1 December 2000 by a close family member of her.
Sure, that apartment was donated to my wife. I insisted for it to be donated to my wife because it was the work of her parents. The contract was signed on the date you mentioned, but it was physically donated a bit earlier, before we married.
Okay. And please confirm that you and your wife got married on 19 November 2000, so a few days before the donation of the apartment.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. That's why I insisted for the apartment to be donated by a donation contract so that it would be the exclusive property of my wife.
Yeah. Please confirm that you and your wife formed one family as of the moment of marriage and that you have both lived on the same address since your marriage.
Yes, and we live in this apartment now, which is the property of my wife.
And please confirm that while you were the owner of the apartment of 66.9 square meters between 8 August 2014 and 4 September 2018, you lived with your wife and family in the apartment of 50.2 square meters. Okay.
Yes, since marriage and until now, we live in that apartment, 50 square meters.
Okay. And please confirm that you sold the apartment on 4 September 2018.
Yes, sure.
And please confirm that you sold the apartment on that day for the price of 24,300 euros.
Yes, according to the sale and purchase contract registered with Cadastre, that was it. Yes.
Okay. But can you please explain that the preferential price for the apartment in 2014 is exactly the same as the non-preferential market price in 2018?
Well, I think it was a bit more expensive at the preferential price that I paid. I sold it for the price mentioned in the contract. I did not believe that it was very, very preferential when I purchased that apartment in 2014 because, well, I was looking for something, but I joined that program with a lot of judges from Chisinau. Initially, I opted for a three-room apartment, which would have suited better my family.
This was the last of my limited question. Do you have anything else to add to clarify this matter?
No, only if I may add. Once more, I would like to mention that when we got married, it was me who insisted to my wife's parents for them to donate her the apartment so that it would be her exclusive property for her to manage that apartment, do whatever she wants with it, because later on, when I purchased the preferential apartment, as you are saying, and as it was in this program, we could sell only this apartment that belongs to us.
Okay, thank you very much. I now go to the second part of my questions, and that relates to the purchase of the same apartment, but now focus more on the financing of the apartment. The Commission has also raised a number of questions with you relating to the financing of this apartment. The Commission first asked you to provide a copy of the contract for the purchase investment into the apartment, but you only produced the first 2 pages of the contract. These 2 pages did not provide any information regarding the schedule for the payments to be made. In our follow-up questions to you, you indicated that you did not have the remaining parts of the contract. You also indicated you were not able to provide any other information or documentation regarding the payment schedule for this apartment. In your declaration submitted to the National Integrity Authority in 2014, you declared that you had taken a loan of 200,000 lei at 0% interest with no due date indicated from a close family member. In response to the Commission's first round of questions, you answered that the purpose of this loan was to pay for the first installment for the apartment of 66.9 square meters. However, you also mentioned that you received this loan from this close family member without drawing up an authenticated loan contract and without agreeing upon a deadline for repayment of the loan. You indicated that this family member provided you this loan from her own family savings. You also indicated that the loan has still not been paid back to this family member. You also informed the Commission that you have no proof of how the amount of 200,000 lei was transferred from that family member to you, and no proof of the use of that amount to contribute to the payment for the purchase price of the apartment. You informed the Commission that this family member, together with the spouse of this member, have a business in Moldova. According to the information from the tax office, however, the gross taxable income for this family member in the period 2007-2014, so the 7 years preceding the moment of purchase of the apartment, amounted to only 60,000, or just over 60,000 lei. And the gross taxable income of the spouse of this family member in that same period was around 165,000 lei. Therefore, the gross taxable income for the whole period of 2007 to 2014 for this family member and the spouse together amounted to around 226,000 lei. In addition, in the period 2013-2014, the business owned by the family member and spouse had financial losses of around 64,000 lei. When the Commission provided you this information in the second round of questions, you responded that you do not possess any documents relating to the financial situation of this family member and spouse, and also that you have no documents providing information about any income from outside Moldova. Furthermore, you only declared this loan in your annual declaration for 2014. In all subsequent declarations, this loan was not declared. At the same time, as described above, you have indicated that you have not repaid the loan to this family member. The Commission asked you in the second round of questions why you did not include this loan of 200,000 lei in your annual declarations for the period 2015-2021, although the loan was not yet paid back. In your reaction to this question, you only state that you declared the loan in the annual declaration of 2014, but you do not answer why you did not in all subsequent years. Here again, I will be asking you some questions to establish the facts. Hopefully they can be answered with a brief yes or no, as we did before, and therefore I will ask you one or more questions that will seek greater detail or explanation from you. My first question here is, please confirm that you submitted to the Commission only the first 2 pages of the contract for the purchase of the 66.9 square meter apartment in Chisinau.
Sure, yes, because that's what I had in my phone as photos. That's why I scanned them and sent them to the committee. I don't have a full contract once I sold that apartment in 2018, so I just didn't keep it.
Please confirm that these 2 pages do not provide any information about the payment schedule agreed upon.
Yes, the payment schedule was an annex to that contract. There were several installments since 2014 to 2018, exactly as it was for everyone else.
Please confirm that when you bought the 66.9 square meter apartment in Chisinau, you declared that part of the price of the apartment was paid by a loan of 200,000 lei from a close family member against 0% interest rate and with no arrangements for the repayment of the loan.
Sure. This was a loan from my parents-in-law. Actually, it was a contribution of my in-laws to my wife, almost half of the apartment.
Please confirm that you have not been able to provide a copy of the loan agreement between you and this close family member.
We did not have any written agreement to this end. We were talking about parents. That's why I did not have that full amount at that moment to pay 1 or 2 installments for the apartment.
Please confirm that you did not provide any documentation demonstrating a source of income or entitlement to income for this close family member or for the spouse of this family member from abroad.
Indeed, I did not provide, even though my in-laws, since 2018, I declared that, based on discussions with them, they applied for, and they are citizens of Romania, and they get the pension from there. They also have some real estate. One of their daughters is living there.
And please confirm that a close family member, together with the spouse of this member, has a business in Chisinau.
Yes.
And please,
a dental clinic where my wife works as a stomatologist and the father-in-law. It is a sole proprietorship, and he is a university professor.
And please confirm that you have not produced any documentation that demonstrated the transfer of 200,000 lei from that family member to you.
Nu, fiindcă
No,
era un
because
fizic de la acești
because
părinți,
physically from the
care au fost
parents
utilizați
we
anume
got this
pentru ratele
money which was used for the installments for this preferential apartment.
Okay. And please confirm that you have not produced any documentation that demonstrated the use of those 200,000 lei for the payment of the part of the purchase of that apartment of 66.9 square meters.
Deci nu am prezentat careva documente.
I
fiindcă
did
nu le
not
am
submit any
fizic,
document
dar,
because I physically don't
toate
have
achitările
any,
erau
but all the
efectuate de mine
payments were
personal
made
la
by me
contabilitatea
personally
întreprinderii
in the
care a
accounting
investit,
department of the
investit
company
pentru
that was
companie,
investing.
care
It is a
construit pentru
company that
judecători.
built for judges these apartments, these houses. So all payments were made in the accounting unit of that company in the appropriate timeline in order not to get any penalties.
And please confirm that you have not produced any other documentation, including, for example, bank transfer or transcripts or transfers from this company that you referred to, that would provide the Commission reliable information about how you paid for the purchase of this apartment.
Deci am achitat acest
I
apartament,
paid
ratele
for this
conform
apartment in
contractului
installments according to the
anexă,
contract that
achitările
was
se făceau
attached.
doar
The
la
payments were made
contabilitatea
only in the
întreprinderii
accounting department of that
Ele au
company.
fost efectuate conform
They were
anexei
made
acestui
according
contract.
to the annex to the
Chiar nu
contract.
am,
I
chiar am
really don't
strânit
have any
acest
other
document
data
în
because I
2018.
sold this apartment in 2018.
And you did not contact the accounting department of this company to provide you that information.
Nu, nu am contactat.
No,
fiindcă
I
în
did not
perioada
contact
pre-vetting-ului
them.
vă aveți în vedere, domnul președinte.
Do you mean during the pre-vetting, Mr. President?
During the time that you paid during the pre-vetting, when you were asked a question from us.
Nu,
Okay.
nu am contactat.
No, I did not contact them.
Dar au fost efectuate conform
But they were
anexei,
made
sigur, în acea
certainly in
perioadă,
line with the annex at that time, according to the contract.
Nu au fost efectuate
There-
careva plăți
there
înainte de termen sau cu
Were no
întârziere.
payments made
Deci ele erau
ahead or
6,
behind the
7,
schedule. I think it
rate.
was like six, seven installments. They were all the same, like for all judges, and they were paid into the accounting department of the company.
And please confirm that you have indicated that the loan of 200,000 lei from the family member has not yet been paid back.
Sigur, eu am
Sure,
considerat că
I
este un împrumut
believed
pentru
it's a
familia
loan
noastră
for
de la
our
părinți, de la
family
socri,
from the
dar,
parents-in-law.
eu mă consider că sunt
So
obligat să
I
rambursez
believe that I am obliged to reimburse this loan to the parents.
And then please confirm that only in 2014 you included that loan of 200,000 lei in your annual declaration to the National Integrity Authority and not in any subsequent years.
Da, sigur, este
Yes, indeed, it was included only in 2014 because, in my opinion, then in 2014 that was the template regarding the authority. Things changed a bit later on in 2018. I think I don't know, and I don't know now. Should I declare it later on as well? But according to the documents that I saw, no, later it was declared only in 2014.
Okay, thank you. Do you have, in relation to this issue, anything else to add from your side?
Nu, nu, sigur.
No,
este
no,
totul, mersi.
everything. This was everything. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I will now go to the third topic that I would like to discuss with you, and that relates to, and I think a copy has been provided of the inapplicable wealth chart. Yeah, okay, you have it. Okay. So the next situation relates to what we call the inexplicable wealth over the year 2014. As we discussed before, over the year 2014, you submitted an annual declaration to the National Integrity Authority. On the incoming cash flow for that year, you declared a total income of you and your wife of over 125,000 lei, And in addition, you included the loan of 200,000 lei that we discussed before. In that declaration, you did not include any savings from previous years. On the expenditure side, the Commission identified a number of items that is also reflected in the chart in front of you. The first one, of course, is the purchase of the apartment that we discussed of 24,300 euros, so around 450,000 lei. The second item is what we call retail expenses. These are expenses paid from a separate bank account in euros belonging to your wife. The third item are expenses for the schooling of one of your children in that year in the amount of about 1,200 euros, so nearly 24,000 lei. And in the fourth instance, there is a figure included that is based on the consumption expenditure for population for that year that applies to your situation, and that is nearly 80,000 lei. If we add up all those expenditures for the year 2014 for you and your family, then we come to a total of 615,000 lei. And therefore, we see a difference between the incoming cash flow of about 325,000 lei and the outgoing cash flow of 615,000 lei. So the difference is nearly 219,000 lei. In your answers to the Commission's third round of questions, you mentioned that the cost for the purchase of the 66.9 square meters of 450,000 lei have not been paid all at once, but have been paid in installments over the years 2014 to 2018, and you referred to that earlier. In these answers, you have identified a number of sources for the payment of the purchase price of the apartment. In the first instance, the loan of 200,000 from that close family member, a loan of 100,000 from Victoria Bank at 16% interest for the period 2016 to 2019, and family savings from the previous year. As already discussed, you have not provided the Commission any concrete information about the existence of the loan of 200,000 lei. You've not provided the Commission any concrete information about the payment schedule for the purchase of this apartment. Furthermore, the loan of 100,000 lei from Victoria Bank was only concluded in 2016, so 2 years after you purchased the apartment in 2014. And in your annual declaration to NIA over 2014, you did not declare any savings over the previous years. Here again, I will start off with a few questions establishing the facts, and then have a more open-ended last question. My first question is, please confirm that according to your annual declaration for 2014, you and your wife had a total income of over 125,000 lei.
Yes, certainly if that's in the declaration, then yes.
Okay. Please confirm that according to your annual declaration for 2014, you did not declare any savings from the previous year.
So I did not declare in any of the years, I did not declare any savings from the previous years because I didn't know about this matter. I didn't know I could declare this, or that I had to declare it anywhere.
Okay. Please confirm that the Commission presented to you the inexplicable wealth chart for 2014, as we discuss right now, and that you did not disagree with any of the figures reflecting the outgoing cash flow in this chart.
I did not disagree, but certainly the amount of 448,000 was not paid all in 2014, so it was not paid all at once for the entire apartment. I think that what is meant, according to this table, is that that is the total price of the apartment that was, though, paid up in 2018, and the payment was in installments.
Please confirm that the loan of 100,000 lei from Victoria Bank was only concluded in 2016 and not in 2014.
Yes, certainly in 2016, and that was used in order to be able to pay one of the installments for the apartment, which I thought I deducted. I withdrew from that account 60 or 80,000, and that was used to pay the installments for 2016. Yes, that is certain.
Do you have anything to add from your side on this overview?
No.
No, nothing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Then we'll now pass on to Victoria Henley to have some follow-up questions, and after that we will briefly come back to my questions. Victoria, you have the floor.
Mr. Stratan, I'm Victoria Henley. I'll be asking you some questions about the purchase in 2018 of property in Chisinau in Truseni. On August 10, 2018, you purchased a land plot and house located in Chisinau Municipality, Truseni. The property was purchased from BC Victoria Bank, SA, for the total sum of 1,200,000 lei, with 240,000 lei paid by you and 960,000 lei paid from a loan taken from Victoria Bank on the same day as the purchase. In the loan agreement for the property, signed on the same day as the contract of sale, the market price of this property is indicated in the sum of 1,947,000 lei, more than 747,000 lei greater than the purchase price. When you were asked about the difference between the purchase price and the value of the property indicated in the loan, you told the Commission that the sale price was established following direct negotiations with the bank. With regards to the purchase price of the property, you mentioned in a journalistic investigation and also in your answers to the Commission that the construction of the houses in the residential complex was finished in 2010, but they were abandoned until 2018. In your public explanations of the low purchase price of the house, you stated that the house required capital repairs. You also stated that the houses were sold by the bank at a similar price for all of your neighbors. The Commission asked you to provide information regarding the declared contractual value of the house, including information relating to the state of the house, investments made in the house, repair costs, etc. You responded that you do not have any documents that reflect the contractual value of the house. You also did not provide any information regarding the repair costs for this property and stated that you do not have any information or documents confirming the expenses for repair. You stated that repairs were and still are made from family savings and that the works are carried out by a seasonal worker who is an acquaintance of yours. You stated that you declared these expenses. In your 5-year declaration, you declared repair expenses of 25,100 lei incurred in the year 2021, with the repairs being made to an individual named Christian Dumitru. In your declaration of assets and personal interests for 2018, you declared the acquisition value of this property in the sum of 756,503 lei, even though you had paid 1,200,000 lei for the property. In your declaration for 2021, you did declare 1,200,000 lei as the value of the property, notwithstanding the new provisions of law that oblige the subject of a declaration to declare the actual market value of the properties. Houses such as yours are now listed for sale for 180,000 euros, which is approximately 3,500,000 lei, more than 3 times the market value you declared. In response to a journalist investigation, you stated that you declared the cadastral value of this property in your declaration for the years 2018, 2019, and 2020 because the provision of law in force at the time asked you to declare the estimated value given by the cadaster. According to the instruction on the mode of completing the declaration of assets for 2017, the subject of the declaration can declare either the contract value or the cadastral value. The Commission asked you to explain why you chose to declare the cadastral value of the property and not the contractual value. You told the Commission that you chose to declare the cadastral value of the property and not the contractual value, since the law in force at that time allowed you to declare either, and that the difference between the given amounts was, quote, not significant. The difference between the contractual value, 1,200,000 lei, and the cadastral value you declared in your declaration, 756,000 lei, is approximately 440,000 lei, approximately 22,000 euros. You were also asked by the Commission about deposits to a bank account belonging to you on August 10, 2018, the date of the purchase of the apartment, and those deposits were in the amount of 240,000 lei and 4,800 euros, I believe. And on January 17, 2019, of 100,000 lei. You were asked who made the deposits, how the money was used, and the source of the funds. You told the Commission that the deposits to the bank account of 240,000 lei and 4,800 lei on August 10, 2018, and on January 17, 2019, of 100,000 lei, were personally made by you to purchase the house from Victoria Bank and recovered from the proceeds of the sale of an apartment in Chisinau, which I believe was the subject of the last questions from Mr. Von Hebel. The deposit of 100,000 lei, however, was made 5 months after the purchase of the house from Victoria Bank and when the deposit had been fully paid. And the apartment in Chisinau wasn't sold until September 4, 2018, a month after these deposits were made. I will begin by asking you some questions to establish the facts. Hopefully, these can be answered with a yes or no response. Thereafter, I will ask you one or more questions that will seek greater detail or explanation from you. Please confirm that you obtained in 2018 a land plot of approximately 0.04 acres and construction of a 116.9 square meter dwelling located in Chisinau, Truseni, from Victoria Bank for the total sum of 1,200,000 lei.
Sigur, da.
Yes, certainly.
And please confirm that 240,000 lei were paid by you and 960,000 lei were paid from a loan taken from Victoria Bank on the same day.
Sigur, da.
Yes, certainly.
Please confirm that the mortgage contract of August 10, 2018, signed on the same day as the contract of sale, indicated the market value of this property at 1,947,000 lei.
Sigur, da.
Yes, certainly. That's what it says in the contract, but I did not insist on it. It was just a contract that was presented by the seller, that is the bank.
Please confirm that when you were asked by the Commission about the difference between the property value stated in the loan agreement and the purchase price in the sales purchase contract, you told the Commission that the sale price was established following direct negotiations with the bank.
Da, ele erau
Yes.
clasate informațiile
There was the information on the sale of the property, this information on the website of the bank. This was public.
Eu am fost unul din
I was one of the first ones to purchase this property at the amount of 1,200,000, provided that I took a loan from the bank.
And what was the bank asking initially as the contract price for the property?
Deci 240.
So 240,000 lei This is the amount that was paid ahead of time, and then the 960,000 was a loan, the loan from the bank, provided that I would collateralize those assets.
Right, and my question is, what was the amount when you initially began negotiating with the bank? What was the initial amount that they were asking or advertising the property for sale for?
Suma a fost una
The amount was a fixed amount of 1,200,000,
ceea ce era egal cu
which was equal to 60,000 euros.
Okay, so there was no negotiation involved in the purchase of the property. They asked 1.2 million, and you agreed to pay 1.2 million.
Da.
Yes.
Eu nu am plătit
I did not pay all the amount at once. To make it clear, there was a loan agreement. I just paid 240,000 lei
pot fi eligibil.
so as to be eligible and so that they would give me the loan of 960,000 up to 2033.
Okay. Please confirm that with regard to the purchase price of the property, you mentioned in journalistic investigations and also in your answer to the commission that the construction of the houses in the residential complex was finished in 2010, but they were abandoned until 2018. And in your public explanations of the low purchase price of the house, you stated that the house required capital repairs.
Deci, sigur,
Yes, certainly. I said that in the investigation that you referred to.
din câte cunosc eu,
As far as I know,
spus anul 2010,
and I
ele
said
erau
2010, but there was in 2018, at that time, for instance, they were really abandoned. There were some legal matters involved as well. So it took some time for those assets to be the property of the bank. Then the bank took over the property and it started selling it.
Please confirm that you have stated publicly and to the commission that the houses were sold by the bank at a similar price for all of your neighbors.
Da, eu am declarat.
Yes, I declared that.
Știu că am procurat.
I know that I purchased for 60,000. Some of my neighbors also paid approximately the same amount for their property. Yes.
Please confirm that the commission asked you to provide information regarding the declared contractual value of the house, including information relating to the state of the house, investments made in the house, repair costs, and you responded that you do not have any documents that reflect the contractual value of the house.
Sigur,
Yes, certainly.
casele erau în starea în care erau.
The property was in that condition that it was in. They were quite okay, but the investments, I've been investing for 4 years now in that property with my own possibilities. I do not live there.
Odată și cu criză și
And now with the crisis coming along and it all, I had to bring things to a halt.
Please confirm that you didn't provide any information to the commission regarding the repair costs for this property and stated that you do not have any information or documents confirming the expenses for repair.
Deci eu am prezentat comisiei, mi se
So
pare că,
I think I submitted to the commission the expenses I incurred
să-i spunem prietenul ăsta nostru muncitor.
for the worker who performed the works, our friend. I paid in 2021, I think, or 2020, the amount of 20,500 lei for the works that that person performed in that property. He straightened some walls and did some renovation work. So more or less the same amount, but a little bit smaller, though, was paid in the previous years, since 2018 to 2021. Now nobody does any works in this property. But it was up to 20,000. That was the yearly expenses, up to 20,000 for that person. There was one single person who has been helping me for 3 years on a seasonal basis with renovations work.
Okay, please confirm that you stated that repairs to this house were and are still made from family savings and that the works are carried out by this seasonal worker.
Exact, asta și v-am confirmat.
Exactly, that is correct. That's what I just confirmed with you. And now even this worker is not available. No, he is abroad.
And you stated that you declared these expenses?
Deci am declarat
I declared 20,500 that was paid for the services of this worker in one particular year, in 2021, I think, because it was supposed to be above 20. If it was above 20, you were supposed to declare it. So I think having talked to, in our correspondence with the Commission, something must have been declared or presented. I need to have a look at it because I don't have the documentation now to look at. So 20,500 lei in one particular year was paid to that person. But the works were performed on a seasonal basis, as in when they were required, the person would provide the works.
Okay, and so if I understand correctly, any repairs that were made in other years, you did not declare because they were under what you understood to be the limit that required them to be disclosed?
Da, eu sigur acum.
Yes, now that is certain. From 2018, he's been helping me, but I used to pay him less than 20,000. So there was nowhere to declare them. And there was some seasonal work or some support provided by the person. He's been working.
And please confirm that in your declaration of assets for 2018, you declared the acquisition value of the property in the sum of 756,000 lei, even though you'd paid 1.2 million lei for the property.
Sigur, da.
Yes, that is what I declared, because that's what the law demanded me to declare. And also I had access to the cadastre, and I could see the documentation in the cadastre, and that was the price of the apartment. That is exactly the price that was listed in the cadastre.
And please confirm that the Commission asked you to explain why you chose to declare the cadastral value and not the contractual value, and you told the Commission that you chose to declare the cadastral value and not the contractual value because of the law in effect at the time, which allowed you to declare either, and that the difference between the given amounts was not significant.
Deci eu de fiecare dată.
So every time, for every asset that I had in my ownership, I've been declaring the cadastral value. There's also a garage that I own, and there is a share in an apartment with from my parents. So every time, to avoid these differences between the amounts of the real value, I would only declare the cadastral one. Nevertheless, the sales purchase agreement is also registered with the cadastre, and the amounts, I believe, I thought they were not too different, not greatly different, but they were public, they were registered with the agency.
Legea m-a obligat.
The law demanded me to do things the way that I did it.
And please confirm that the difference between the contractual value and the cadastral value you declared in your declaration was roughly 440,000 lei.
Sigur, da.
Yes.
And please confirm that in your declaration for 2021, you did declare 1.2 million lei as the value of the property, notwithstanding that the new provisions of law obliged the subject of a declaration to declare the market value of the properties at the time of making the declaration.
Sigur, da.
Yes, certainly I declared the contractual value, what I paid for the property. However, I don't think that in this regard the value, the market value was much larger, or the way that it appeared in the investigation per se, because 180,000 for such a property, I think it was too much,
După părerea mea.
in my opinion.
Au crescut prețul.
The prices have increased, but I think that the investments were also made by those who are selling the properties, the real estate.
Please confirm that houses such as your house are now listed for sale in the amount of 180,000 euros, estimated to be about 3.5 million lei, more than 3 times the market value you declared for 2021.
Eu nu pot să vă confirm.
I cannot confirm this. Yes, I saw in the media information regarding this, regarding what would the amount be, the price would be for these apartments and these houses in this complex. And I think there are even some real estates that are even more expensive if investments were also made in them.
Please confirm that you were asked by the Commission about deposits to a bank account belonging to you on August 10, 2018, in the amount of 240,000 lei and 4,800 lei, and on January 17, 2019, of 100,000 lei. And that you were asked who made the deposits, how the money was used, and what was the source of funds.
Deci, da, sigur, aceste sume au fost
Yes, these amounts were deposited by me. That's an account that was specifically opened to pay for loans, and these amounts were deposited there by myself. So this is from having sold the apartment with a surface of 66 square meters, and I had received a down payment for that apartment, so that's the source. I deposited that money on that account.
And how much was the down payment that you received on the apartment?
pentru apartamentul de 66
For the 66 square meters apartment?
The one
care
that you
l-am
were
văzut
selling,
tot
yes.
în anul
Care-
2018. El era undeva
In 2018, it was in euros about 9,000 euros. About 9,000 euros was the down payment.
Și anume sursa dată a fost
And that is the source. Once I found this property that met the needs of my family.
Okay, and please confirm that you told the Commission that the deposits made on August 10 and August 10, 2018, and January 17 of 2019 were personally made by you to purchase the house from Victoria Bank, and that they were covered from the proceeds of the sale of the 66 square meter apartment.
exact, sigur, da.
Yes, exactly, that's right.
And please confirm that the deposit of 100,000 lei on January 17, 2019, however, was made 5 months after the purchase of the house from Victoria Bank, when the deposit had been fully paid.
Da, sigur, da.
Yes,
Fiindcă mi-a mai rămas
that is
ceva
correct,
de
because I had some leftover money from the sale of the house,
dorim să contribui
of the
să
property.
informăm
And I wanted to pay a bigger amount so as to have smaller installments, monthly installments afterwards. That's why I used this money after the sale of the apartment.
Is there anything else you'd like to add or clarify about the house in
No.
Chisinau that you purchased in 2018?
Nu?
No,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Then I'll go on with the last topic for our discussions this morning, and that relates to the studies of your two children at a school in Chisinau. Your two children have studied at a school here in Chisinau for a number of years. One of the children studied there from 2012 to 2020, the other from 2016 to 2022. When the Commission asked you in the first two rounds of questions to provide information about the payments for the education, you indicated that you did not have any records of the total amount of the fees paid by you. You indicated that a number of close family members, and I quote, contributed to most of the payments for our children's studies, end of quote, and that some reductions had been applied because of family connections with that school. You also indicated that payments were made partly in cash and partly by bank transfer by these family members and also by your wife. At the same time, you were not able to provide any documentation demonstrating the payments made. According to the information received from this school, however, a detailed overview per year and per child was provided of the costs for the education of your two children at this school. In total, according to this information, the cost for the studies for both children amounted to over 18,000 euros, almost 300, or just over 340,000 lei. When the Commission shared these figures provided by the school with you, you were able to confirm the veracity of the data provided by the school. Based on information from the tax office, however, the taxable income for the close family members to which you referred as having contributed mostly to the payment of the studies of your two children amounted in the years 2012 to 2021, so the same years as the studies of your two children, to respectively 11,500 lei roughly and 276,000 lei. So, in other words, the total amount of the taxable income of these family members was less than the cost of the studies for you two children. Here again, I will start by asking you some questions to confirm some facts, and which can largely be answered by yes or no, and then, of course, we'll end up with a more open-ended question. So my first question to you is, please confirm that your two children studied at this school in Chisinau for the periods 2012 to 2020 for one child and 2016 to 2022 for the other one.
Sigur, da.
True, yes.
And please
Și
confirm
acum studiază.
Even now, there's one child is studying there.
and please confirm that you did not provide any documentation demonstrating the payment of the tuition to the school.
Sigur, nu am prezentat.
I did
fiindcă
not,
este vorba
indeed,
despre
because,
achitarea tot la contabilitatea
Again, it was all paid into the
Eu mi-am
accounting
păstrat,
department
dar
of
mai
the
mult, eu
school.
personal
I did
nu
not
am
keep
achitat.
the. Actually, I personally did not pay ever these amounts. Usually, it was my wife dealing with this,
Mama soacră care era
or the mother-in-law, who was a teacher at that school.
And please confirm that you informed the Commission first that those close family members, and I quote again, contributed to most of the payments for these studies.
Deci sigur au contribuit și
They surely contributed and keep contributing, both my parents and my parents-in-law. They contribute to the tuition fee. They actually dealt personally with the children
a reușit la acest liceu.
for them to succeed in the school. So most of the education, honestly, it was on parent side.
And please also confirm that you yourself did not approach the school to seek an overview of the tuitions paid for the education of your two children.
Nu, nu.
No, I did not ask.
Nu m-am adresat, dar eu pot să
I
vă-
did not ask
cunoscând că
them, but
aveam o
I mean,
relație
knowing
foarte
that we
ok
have
și
a
atunci
very
cu
okay
soția de
relationship
familie,
and
inițial
with
era undeva
my
la
wife.
100 de
So
euro
initially it
pe lună,
was around
m-am aflat la
100
liceu
euros per
ulterior, acum
month
s-a
when they
ridicat
entered the school,
aproximativ
and now it is
200 de euro,
almost
dar am
200 euros per month, but it's only one child that attends the school now. The second one is in university already.
And please confirm that the Commission provided you with information from the school that provided a detailed overview of the cost for the tuition for both children on a yearly basis.
Sigur, mi-ați
Yes,
prezentat,
indeed,
le
you
accept exact
submitted me
aceleași
that data and I accepted it exactly the amounts that I was talking about.
And please confirm that you acknowledge indeed the veracity of the figures that were provided by the school, amounting to a total of over 18,000 euros, so roughly 340,000 lei.
Da,
Yes,
exact.
exactly.
Pentru toți anii de școală.
For all years of education, yes, surely.
Anything else that you would like to add in relation to this issue?
Nu, sigur, este totul.
No, everything is as you presented and as I presented.
Then I have one more question, just going back to earlier discussions that we had when we were talking about the charge of or the declaration that you made in 2014 to the National Integrity Authority. And I asked you whether you declared any savings, and you confirmed that there were no savings declared. But I think you also said something about the fact that you did not know whether you had an obligation to provide, to declare any savings. Did you have any savings prior to 2014 or in 2014?
Yes, of course I had some savings. I've been working since 1996. The prosecutor until 2014, when I was appointed as a judge in 2008. Of course, we had some savings for family, or making savings for some trips, for instance, vacations. I did not have any other properties before 2014. Only that 1/3 of my parents' apartment. It's somewhere in a district, and a garage, and that's all.
Thank you very much. I'm just looking around at any of my colleagues. Were there any follow-up questions? Victoria first. Yeah, go ahead.
I have one quick follow-up. You mentioned that when you sold the 66 square meter apartment, you received a down payment on that apartment. Do you recall what percentage of the purchase price the down payment was?
It was around 1/3, or maybe a little bit more than 1/3.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Victoria? Yeah. Vitalie?
I would like to greet you also. Mr. Stratan, I have a clarification question. When you were asked to confirm that you did not present any other document, including bank transfers, that could provide the Commission with information about the way you paid for purchasing the mentioned apartment, you confirmed that. But later, when asked by our chairperson if you asked the accounting department of the company to obtain the information, you said no. And I would like to clarify. What was the reason of your failure to act in this case? Because the Commission asked for these documents because they are relevant for the topic in question. First of all, I thought that the Commission would request those documents, which I would have acknowledged if the company submitted them to you. I did not go to them during that period of time because I was on vacation since August. And of course, all payments were made according to the contract and installments, and I could ask for the contract from the Public Services Agency because I don't have it physically, but the payments were done according to the annex, not in any other way. The second aspect, just to make sure that I understood your position and your answer. When you are asked to confirm that when you bought the apartment of 66.9 square meters, you declared that part of the apartment price was paid based on a 200,000 lei loan from a close family member, with zero interest rate and without any arrangements for reimbursement. You confirm this? Yes. At the same time, in your previous answer, you used this expression that this was a contribution from the close family members. What did you mean? What did I mean? I did not have the total amount to pay the first installment, because usually to sign the investment contract, the first installment is bigger. As I remember, it was around 7,000 euros. I did not have the full amount, and this was a contribution for the part that, let's say, maybe my wife should pay more because it was offered by her parents. So was it a loan, but it was used as a contribution? Yes, I feel that I have an obligation towards the in-laws to repay them the 200,000. But in fact, they were offered to my wife in order to pay for the apartment. Thank you for your answers. I don't have any other questions, Mr. Chairperson. That's why I declared this amount as a loan. Mr. Stratan, hello. A clarification question. You mentioned, when explaining about the apartment, that you currently still live in the 50 square meters apartment. I just wanted to confirm that I understood it correctly. So the house is not in living conditions yet. From Friday to Sunday, I go there only with my wife. The rest of the time, I stay with the children in the 50 square meters. Certainly, this is the apartment that was donated to my wife in the Rashkan sector of the city. Second question. When you mentioned that the 200,000 lei that you received as a contribution from your in-laws, you declared them in 2014 only because, to use your phrase, it's your template at that time. Sorry, I want to finish the question. And you are not even sure now if you had to declare it. And I would just like to make sure that I understood it correctly, that even now you are not sure if a loan or if you qualify it as a donation has or does not have to be declared. I realized it afterwards. I will consult the colleagues from the Integrity Authority, but I certainly declared it only in 2014. I confirm this fact. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Stratan. I would like to check if I understood correct. You get your down payment when you sold the apartment on Cheucar. What down payment? For which sale? For the last payment of the apartment, because the apartment, the last installment for the apartment on Cheucar was paid in 2018. I already had the intention to sell this apartment, so exactly the down payment for this, I got a bit earlier, and it was used to pay the first installment to identify the house. But the contract was... but how did you qualify? Do you have any receipt? How legally? How did you do? Maybe some preliminary agreement? Is there any document for that down payment? No, nothing. Later on, we had the sales contract for the sale of the apartment. This is year 2018.
And then I finally have my own, from my own side, one last question. So you are saying that you still live in the apartment of 50.2 square meters up to today. And you earlier declared, when you were talking about the reasons for selling the 66.9 square meters apartment, that you sold it because there was no improvement of living conditions, given the fact that there's a family of the two of you, you and your wife and the two children. But the apartment that you're living in now is still 50 square meters, whereas the one that you sold was 66.9, so which was bigger than the one that you're living in. So how does that mean there is that it would not have been an improvement of your living conditions?
That was a two-room apartment, exactly like this 50 square meters one. 2 rooms, it means 2 children in the same room, and you couldn't do anything. So I sold that apartment of 66.9 square meters as a result, because this is our joint property, mine and my wife's. It's a family property.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions, no one else. Then I would like to give you now briefly an opportunity to make a brief closing comment, if you would like.
I would like to thank the Commission, first of all, for the opportunity to come in front of the Commission. I think I was honest. Thank you for the questions you asked. And I would like to ask my colleagues that will come in front of you, who already had or are part of this competition. I would like to wish them all a lot of success in this context. I would like to wish success to the new SCM
cât mai bine
to make sure that it works best for the country, for the justice sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And thereby we come to the end of the hearing. I thank you for your comments and answers to all the questions that we had. The Commission will now withdraw for deliberations, and a reasoned decision will be delivered later. As much as possible, the Commission will strive at delivering a decision within a month after the date of the hearing of today. I hereby declare the hearing closed, and thank you again.